Is this the final shakeout before the Clarity Act goes live? With the markets flashing red over the last few days and the meeting and the White House, as well as what's going on with Ripple in their community day with XRP, this next 48 hours could determine the trajectory of XRP and regulation for 2026. So we want to take a good look about what's going on right now in the market and with this crash. Again, I'm still referring to it as a crash because I don't believe that this is over. Hopefully you guys enjoy the new layout. We're going to cover everything. I did some moving around this weekend. Hopefully it looks nice for you all. Let's go ahead and hop into the price, and I have all of the info for you about the next 2 days. So real quick, actually, let's not even do the price right now. Let's hop right into the meat of the thing, the meat of the video, the meat of the stream, and talk about what's actually happening tomorrow, right? There's no vote tomorrow. There's, nothing like that. They are literally discussing yield and a couple other things. So this is from Crypto in America, talking about what's actually taking place tomorrow. The White House has scheduled a second meeting Tuesday afternoon with representatives from the crypto banking industries in an effort to broker an agreement on payment, stablecoin yields, and crypto firms. The gathering will not include company CEOs, but senior policy staff from banks and crypto firms, as well as some representatives from banking and crypto trade groups. Sources say major banks, including Bank of America, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo, have been invited, and invites may also have gone to PNC, Citi, and U.S. Bank. Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal is also expected to attend. So, what is actually being discussed? They're discussing the skinny Fed master accounts, as well as, because remember, the big banks didn't like the skinny Fed master account, as well as stablecoin yield. Crypto in America was first to report on the meeting, and you can read more about it here. Besides arguing about stablecoin yield, banks and crypto leaders are clashing over the Fed's proposed skinny master accounts, which would give eligible fintech firms limited access to Fed payment rails. The divide was illustrated in 44 comment letters from a mix of crypto companies and groups, bank trade associations, and individuals submitted to the central bank on Friday. The response from the crypto side was largely positive, but the banks sounded overwhelmingly cautious, sometimes bordering on negative. So, of course, the banks don't want them to get that. Shocker. Stablecoin issuer Circle said that the skinny master accounts would increase the resiliency of the overall payment system, while Blockchain Payments Consortium, compromising leading blockchain infrastructure providers like Fireblocks, Polygon, Solana, and Tons, said they would eliminate uncompetitive practices that undercut consumers and concentrate risk around a handful of banks, which is absolutely true. Not all crypto firms were satisfied, though. Anchorage Digital called the move a positive step, but criticized the proposal for not giving beneficiaries direct access to the Fed's automated clearinghouse, the ability to maintain balances and earn interest on reserves. So basically, big banks are saying, we'll let you in with this, but we're not going to give you full access because, that's going to be bad for us. I mean, it essentially is what they're saying. So what do we really need to watch for this week? What's really important that we need to pay attention to? So, Fed Governor Christopher Waller discusses digital assets at Global Interdependence Center Summit in La Jolla, California, 1:30 p.m. on Monday. 2:30, White House will host a meeting with crypto and banking representatives. 3, CNBC will host the Digital Finance Forum. I'm going to try to be watching that tomorrow, obviously. Speakers from the CFTC chairman, Mike Saleh, Galaxy founder, CEO Mike Novogratz, and MoonPay founder and CEO Ivan Soto. Wednesday, the BLS will release its latest jobs report and unemployment rate for January following last week's delay due to a partial government shutdown. And again, jobs data is not looking good. This is another one of the macro indicators we were talking about last week as far as the crash continuing this week. Still some red flags looming out there this week. And then 10 a.m., the SEC Commission Chairman Paul Atkins will testify before the House and Financial Service Committee. Consensus Hong Kong also on Wednesday. Thursday, Chair Atkins testifies before the Senate Banking Committee. Friday, 8:30 a.m., the BLS will publish its January Consumer Price Index, so CPI inflation data, on Friday this week as well. So if we get bad inflation data, bad jobs data, can't imagine from what I'm hearing from the bank side of this that the talks are going to go well. I mean, there'll probably be some FUD that comes out of this meeting tomorrow. And then we also have Now, so all of this, before I get any further into it, really, all of this is really not good news. I mean, truthfully, this is not positive talk for crypto as a whole and for XRP as a whole when we're discussing all of these things coming out this week, because I do believe we're going to have bad inflation data. I do believe we're going to have bad jobs data. Japan is hiking rates. We're seeing a rotation out of leverage, and we're seeing a rotation out of debt, and we're seeing a rotation out of risk assets. None of this is good for crypto, and none of this is good for the overall stock market as a whole. They did inject some liquidity this morning. I believe they bought back 8 billion in treasuries this morning, so we're seeing a little uptick because we have some fresh liquidity come in the market. And again, a rebound from the weekend. But if we want to look at prices and see what's really going on, if we take a look at the price, and again, we look at everything, yes, it's upticking. Okay, cool. But we're still at 70K, and we're working with lower lows now. And if you look at the price, right, it's right at 70K. Last time it was at 70K was right here. I always say look at the RSI. If we go down and look at the RSI indicator from when the price was here last time, which was right here, and we go down, RSI was at 41. We're at the same price now, and RSI is at 65-ish, 64, 65. So price is staying flat while RSI is going way up. This to me is saying it's going to make a move down. But that's just me, not financial advice. And again, real quick, I have to say it at least once. Everything in this stream is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is entertainment and educational purposes only. You should always do your own research. You can lose everything, as a lot of people have learned recently. You can lose a lot of money playing around in here. So price, again, I think is showing that it's going to go down. How's that? So Bitcoin right now at 70,000. Again, my projection, hopefully this is the right screen. That's not the right screen. My projection is 55K for Bitcoin. I think that'll bring us down to roughly, my original thought was 80 cents XRP, but considering how it's been running a little bit lately, I think $1 is probably more realistic. And then, so we have XRP Community Day tomorrow. I can guarantee you something's going to be announced there, because we just had this information come out from Ripple yesterday in regards to how XRP is sitting at the center of everything they do. All three layers of the financial structure that they've built out utilizes XRP. They put that out 2 days ago on the 7th. Was it 7th? Maybe it was the 6th. It was a few days ago. We went over it already once. It's this right here. If you guys want to take a look at it, you can go to ripple.com/insights. It'll pull it up for you right here. It's the institutional DeFi on XRPL, scaling real world finance with XRPL, and see, even Ripple will try to talk to you directly from their website. Came out February 5th explaining exactly how XRP is going to be used. Why is this important? Well, we follow actual activity. Let's refresh it. We follow actual activity on the ledger to see if real world utility is ramping up. So let's look at account set activity, if I can find it real quick for you, transaction types. So the account set activity, I don't need to see it. It's spiked, I guarantee it. It's still spiked over 40K and has been for now 4 months ongoing. We're seeing an increase in payments activity. Over the weekend, it was only doing 1.7 million, but we're already at 1.2 million today. Will it continue to stay up around 2 million and increase? That's what we're looking for. I think it will, as we're starting to see more of this payment information coming on chain. Now, again, we're about more than just one asset here. We're about the long view, about what things are going to be 5 to 10 years from now, not necessarily what price is today, tomorrow, or next week. But again, my core infrastructure pieces are XRP, Canton Network, HBAR, Ondo, and Chainlink. And then I also have my real world plays: copper, silver, gold, and real estate. To me, it's about having everything planned out for the future, solving problems of the future. And when we're talking about those different things, when we're talking about those different coins, I also post all of that information here on X. You can follow me on X. It's at LongView Crypto. Let me get to my bookmarks because I do have some information for you here. Canton, 2 billion CC have been burned, and that's just the beginning. Every transaction burns CC, offsetting emissions. The more the network is used, the faster supply shrinks, and it's only accelerating. Remember, we watched the CEO of Digital Asset, which is the company behind Canton, talking about how they've maybe only gotten 5% of one section at this point, and they have tons coming on chain. This is going to be accelerating faster and faster. This is what we just talked about with the stablecoin yield and the skinny Fed accounts. Brad Garlinghouse coming out and saying, glad to see the message is finally even more clear. XRP family has always and will always be at the top of the mind of Ripple. And I believe him. I mean, especially with what they announced on the 5th. And this was some of you thought Ripple wasn't true to their word. Looks like they're going to be. At least they are standing by it to this point. Okay, show me the money. Show me the money, Brad. Where? Oh gosh, I'm going to have to scroll for this sucker. It's down here somewhere. Come on. The only response I have to that is show me the money. And Brad says it best if I can find it. I have so many bookmarks on X, I need to clear it up. For real. Shows you guys how much stuff I post out there as I'm going through the information. Because we are still way the heck down there. Where did it go, yo? It's got to be close. Sorry, I know this. I should have had this prepared. I was trying to wing it and it just wasn't ready. And now the joke's not even worth it, I feel like. We're close. There we go. All right. This is all I have to say, Brad, right here.
Show me the money! Show me the money! Show me the money! Show me the money! You my motherfucker! Show me the money!
At some point, it is just words. Thanks for bearing with me while I pulled up that video. But at some point, it is just words. I understand. I do believe them, but we do need to see some reflection in price appreciation. For some of us, we've been here for 6-7 years. Let's pump the bags, Brad. Come on. Let's pump the bags. It's time. And again, follow me on X at LongView Crypto. We have the White House meeting. And again, as we're seeing things fall, again, important distinction when we're looking at Bitcoin and the US dollar versus the yen. Remember? So this was on January 22nd, our dollar took a nosedive here, got all the way down to 152 yen. Okay, that's about the same time we were having that collapse. So it's something to pay attention to. Also, I don't have it pulled up here. I should. I retweeted it. You can find the tweet. I'm not going to go through all my bookmarks, but if you follow me on X, you can find it. But China has now reduced their U.S. treasuries to 682 billion. Which it's down from 1.3 trillion that it had in 2013, and they've been aggressively accumulating gold. So that is also a very, very telling story. The second largest economy is trying to break away from the dollar. It's clear as day. Now, is that something that's going to take place this year, next year? No. Like, that's a process that takes 5, 10, 20, 30 years. But important distinction that we notice because that will impact the dollar over time as we're looking at our long view assets. All right, let's hop into the chat, see what everyone's doing today. Missed you guys. Love Monday streams. Love Monday streams. And we'll get more into price here in a second. I just want to catch up on the chat for you all. Excuse me. Is it working? Come on now. It's not. Is it pulling up? No, it's not pulling up. Man, I hate this thing sometimes. Let's try this again. Copy. Paste. It was working earlier. Don't know why it's not working now, but I'll fix it nonetheless. Okay. It's still, there it goes. Okay. Shoot, forgot to watch the Super Bowl. Crypto Roger was the first one in here. I did too, to be honest with you. Actually, I heard I didn't miss much. It was like 12-0 last I checked. It was 4 field goals. It was just boring game from what I heard. And again, if you're new to the stream, where are you from and what is your crypto project you are after? I would love to know. We keep the chat engaged. These streams usually go about an hour or so, but I need people talking, and we're going to hop back into some more information, but I want you all here with me. Sir Charles sent his couple cups of coffee this morning as they were talking about each other. If I just had 1,500 to play with and you didn't need more XRP, what one coin should I consider that hasn't already mooned? Well, I mean, I've made my opinion on that clear as day. The coin I consider, if I didn't need more XRP, is Canton Network, Canton Coin. But that's me. Again, you should always do your own research. But with everything coming on that chain right now, I am very much behind that. Don't need more silver either, especially at these prices. You know, I was actually looking at picking up some physical silver. The cheapest I could get it was, after the premium, was $92 per silver eagle. I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy paper silver for now, I guess, until these premiums come down a little bit, because the premiums on silver are ridiculous. Sir Charles, good question. Good morning, Raul. Scott's doing his last minute 8 count bodybuilder standby. I did break out the rowing machine this weekend, so that felt good. I did get back on the rowing machine and start rowing again. I'm going to try and get back into my 20 minutes a day every day of rowing and lifting. I used to, so when I was in really good shape not too long ago, I was rowing for 20 minutes every day, and I was lifting for 15 to 20 minutes every day. Nothing major, just enough to keep me going, right? Just enough to keep me in shape. What's going on, Quelly? How are you today? Welcome. Hit the like, says Crypto Roger. I appreciate that. Yes, hit the like button if you guys are here. Again, we'll do a recap shortly, and we'll cover more price action, and I'll let you guys know about the different levels and stuff like that. We will keep it going as long as we can. I have videos I can put on too, but I feel like a lot of people really like the chat, so I'm trying to space the chat out a little bit. Do a little chat, little video, little chat, little video. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's in the house today. You're getting a psychic message about something about February 11th. Again, I told you guys a week ago with February 11th, like I'm sneaky thinking something's going to happen with Ondo. But again, that's complete speculation, but that's why I've been leaning. Roger, you in Austin, San Antonio. Love San Antonio. Yeshua says, are we still going down to 70 cents? Well, I never called 70 cents. I called 80 cents. I do like my receipts. I did call 80 cents that I thought if Bitcoin gets to 55K, I hit a light. If Bitcoin gets to 55K, then I think XRP would get to 80 cents. And then, Saturday I was talking because XRP had such a strong run that I thought that it may be $1. So I actually changed my buy order to $1 to make sure I get it on the drop. And I do still think Bitcoin's going to go down, looking at the overall market. And I didn't even talk about what's going on with Iran. I mean, that's another catalyst that's giving me some nervousness. So, I mean, we're positioning. It looks like the United States is positioning to do a strike on Iran. I mean, that could be another problem with the market. Again, we're talking about the Japanese carry trade. Yep, I said 80 cents. Yep. We talk about the Japanese carry trade as well, with Japan hiking rates and the announcement of Kevin Warsh. There's been a lot of deleveraging in the markets. We can go over all that. You know what? Let's recap for anyone. I don't even know how many people are in the stream. That's fine. But let's recap here. And I'm going to pull up the charts on why I think, because a lot of people are really interested in what's actually happening with the price and trying to time tops and bottoms. Again, not financial advice. This is why I dollar cost average in. But when we're trying to determine the price, we have to look at Bitcoin, right? Because unfortunately, the crypto world follows Bitcoin. So when we're looking at the price and we're looking at Bitcoin, again, I pointed this out at the very beginning of the stream, but price was at, I was pointing out this level because this is where it was when we were talking. But price was at 70,700. And last time it was at that same price, RSI was way down here at 47. Whereas this last time RSI was up here at 68. So now we're seeing the pullback. I said it was going to pull back to EMA, and it didn't pull back that much. I think it's going to try to bust through here and push down. Why do I think this is going to happen? Well, I made an announcement that a lot of people may have missed. Bitcoin is not in charge here, okay? The overall stock market is what's in charge. When you look at Amazon, let's look at Amazon for the last year. Is that just... Okay, so... And the last year, here we go. So let's just go to October. October is great because that's when we had the liquidation for crypto. So in November to October, right after the crypto sell-off, right? So we had Amazon at $259 a share. Now it's down to $210. It's dropped a lot, about 20%. If we go to Microsoft, since that same time frame, a year. That's all time. We don't want all time. We want a year. If we go back to October, where's October? For Microsoft, there it is. It's down from 560 to 412, down about 20%. If we go to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, now up to 191. Ran back up some. Let's go to the 1 year. That's all time. NVIDIA is the only one up. They were down. They ran up big from 170. They're up to 190, but I think there's going to be another pullback here too. That's the only one that's bucking the trend. They were going with my trend before. But you can look at Oracle. You can look at Blue Owl. I mean, just about everything over the last 3 to 4 months since October has dropped 20-30%. It's been a deleveraging across the market. It's not just crypto. It's the entire market. So let's go ahead and look back at, let's see what silver and gold's doing right now, shall we? Gold futures. Gold's sitting at 5,077 right now. Had a nice run up. That's the one we were talking about earlier. We don't want to look at the 1 year candle on this right now. Let's see. Let's go to the 15-minute candle. There we go. So nice run up to 5,000 for gold futures right now. And then where's my silver futures? I don't want Disney. Silver futures. Silver futures is up to 82. I did pick up some more silver on the ETFs when silver was at $73 an ounce. So that's what's keeping me in the green right now. If you're looking over here is my silver. I picked up a big chunk of it. But this is why, this is why I'm like, okay, the overall economy is not looking good. There's a lot of negative red flag catalysts out there. I'm honestly sitting with just cash right now. I mean, I have some stuff, obviously, but I have a lot of cash on the sideline waiting to see how things are going to shake out over the next week or so. Because I don't think I'm not buying a rebound right now. Not when we're looking at the RSI, not when we're looking at the overall market, and when we're looking at Bitcoin. I mean, it's dropping down to 70,000 right now. I'm not buying this rebound. I'm just not. Maybe that's me. Not financial advice. But when we're looking at XRP, though, I mean, XRP ran up strong after this, much stronger than pretty much any other crypto. From what was it, 111 all the way up to 154. So, I mean, it made up, was a 50% run. So, yeah, I mean, naturally, that's why I changed it from 70 to 80 cents to $1. Just because of this run right here and where it managed to stay off. So it oversold way too much on its original way down. But again, Bitcoin is probably going to fall too, my opinion. And again, follow me on X, LongView Crypto. You get this stuff early. Let's see. Let me go back to the chat, see what everyone's doing now. Keep the chat rolling, guys. I appreciate you. XRP, XLM, and HBAR. NC is in the house. North Carolina. What part of North Carolina? Are you near like the mountains in Virginia, or are you kind of down near Charlotte and like southern North Carolina area? Bulgaria. Welcome from Bulgaria. That's a new one I haven't seen. XRP and some XDC after price appreciation. HBAR, XLM, Algo, Canton, and a lot more XDC. Okay. Yeah, we're a fan of a couple of those. I have, of course, XRP, HBAR, and Canton. I have some dart throws on XDC, Algo, and XLM. So I have a little bit of everything you're holding there. Getting some more XRP tonight from my extra work on Saturday. Good for you. Look at you working and stacking, busting and stacking. Operation Bus says, and XRP won't go below $1. I hope you're right. I mean, I have my buy order set at $1. So, I mean, that would be perfect for me. Could what happened in October be considered a black swan? I don't think so. And the only reason I don't think so is because it didn't have much of an impact. It didn't have much of a direct impact on the rest of the market. Like the rest of the market started going on the downturn then, but they didn't jump off a cliff like crypto did at that point. You know what I mean? But there was a mass liquidation event, and it wasn't just like, that wasn't just mass selling. That was like, there was a bunch of things involved in that. It seemed really, really orchestrated. Binance had the flaw. Then they announced the stuff about the potential reclassification of DATs, like literally the night after that happened, almost like someone got the tip off on it. WillFi dropped 30% before that happened. So to me, it was, there were some dirty players involved in that. I can't prove it, but when WillFi drops 30% before it, when they make an announcement that they might reclassify DATs after it, and I mean, yeah, it was just way too much coordination on how things happened for me to believe that there wasn't some parties at play in it. And again, that's just speculation on my end. So, I mean, that's how I think about it. Let's see. Let's get back into the charts here. You guys keep the chat rolling for me. We will discuss more here in a second. I'm going to do some brief technical analysis on XRP. For those of you who are trying to maybe, you know, have a little bit more understanding of where this could be going. And the way I do it is I typically do it strictly off RSI and off of highs and lows. Okay, so really, we came up all the way to $1.54, and when we haven't recovered since then, right? It's been lower lows, lower highs. That's, I mean, technically, I mean, it's a horizontal. It's a straight, pretty much horizontal wedge when you're looking at it. We're not pulled too far away from RSI. We're a little bit on the overbought area, but it's not terrible. It's, I mean, it can easily come back to the middle. So, I mean, this is literally chop. This is the definition of chop. It's not doing anything. You can't get a read on it, which way it's going to go. So the only thing you can really look at is Bitcoin. And when you're looking at levels, you have to look at previous low was $1.11. So the next low level to check out if and when it does drop would be $1.11. Will we have more buying pressure at that point? We've already tested that low. Or will it break through it? And if it breaks through $1.11, the next area is $1. It's a psychological level. And then after that is 80 cents, 85 cents. So that's how I'm looking at XRP. I think if we have a breakdown to 55K in Bitcoin, then XRP is going to break down to $1. That is my thesis. And then when I'm looking at the other ones, honestly, I'm probably, if this does drop to $1 and Bitcoin does drop to 55,000, I'm going on a shopping spree for everything, not just XRP, because the entire crypto market will be moving at a discount at that point. I mean, it kind of already is at a discount if you really look at it in the grand scheme of things. Like, I mean, everything's down for the most part today, but for the month, I mean, everything's bleeding except our favorite, or except my favorite, CC, next to XRP, of course. But yeah, my favorite secondary coin is probably CC at this point. For those of you who asked earlier in the question, or earlier in the stream. Excuse me, my brain's kind of fuzzy today. I feel like I'm a little bit off today. Well, my mood is good, my energy is good, but I feel like I'm a little bit off. Maybe it's the new setup, right? Because I got my screens moved around now. I redid the whole thing over here to try and make it a little bit more appealing as opposed to just looking at a beige wall. You know, try to spice it up for you guys a little bit. Let me get back in the chat for a little bit. I see some movement over there. Just putting in my opinion, just put a lot of casino players out of the market, and again, and again, and again. Well, putting retail and casino players out of the market. I agree with the $1 prediction, watching macro and geopolitical. Exactly. Because we also have to worry, not only, you know, we have to worry about what China's doing. We have to worry about what's the situation with Iran, what's the situation with Russia, you know, what's going on with the Clarity Act, you know, what's going on with the debasement of the dollar, you know, what the heck's going on in Minnesota? I mean, like there's literally, we talked about it on Saturday. There are literally dumpster fires everywhere. I mean, like the geopolitically here at home, in our economy, like everywhere. So, I mean, who knows what's gonna, it's like walking through a minefield. Who knows what's gonna set things off? You know, and if you step on one, it's going to set off the one next to it, and so forth and so forth, I feel like. So, I mean, I really feel like we are in a point right now where we could have some massive struggles down the line. But that's, you know, that's just my opinion. It'd be cool to see a tour of the office. Huh. Well, I mean, my office isn't all what you think it might be. It's a basement that, let me see here. I might have to take you guys on a tour sometime of my things, but really the base, so it's my office is in the basement, and I have one section of the basement, and the girls have taken over the other side. And then, well, they're taking over the other side. So in my basement, I have my office area, and then I also have my exercise equipment. I have my rowing machine, I have my weights, I have my bench, I have a punching bag down here. So, but on the other side, after I'm going to move all the workout equipment into the gym, and they're going to put an exercise mat down here and a balance beam down here. And my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, has her nail station set up here because she's practicing to become a nail tech. So it constantly smells like a salon in my house. Once you become a dad and you have a couple girls around the house, man, there's no such thing as dad space anymore. It all gets taken over. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you can fight it, but eventually it's going to take over. Manipulators will not let Bitcoin go below 50,000, which is why I said XRP won't go below $1. Okay. No, that makes perfect sense. I honestly thought that XRP was going to hit 80 cents if Bitcoin hit 55K. But then we had such a strong recovery back up to $1.56 with XRP. I changed my mind and changed that target to $1. I think on the next pullback we hit 55K and $1. But that's just my opinion. Just wait and see what is going to happen with the straight. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like I said, there's just so much geopolitical drama going on right now, and not even just geopolitical drama, but the drama at home between Democrats and Republicans, and what's going on in Minnesota, and what's going on with ICE. There's just distractions everywhere. And again, I think that the Clarity Act is going to get pushed through before midterms, but I don't think it's going to be the structure that most crypto people want. But again, they're going to want to get it through because you got to follow the money. I know the banks are putting up a massive fight right now, but the banks want this to go through. They do want it to go through because they're going to save a ton of money. They're building on this stuff already. They're already building on Canton Network, right? I mean, JP Morgan's building a stablecoin on it. So, and some of them are already plugged in with Ripple and XRP. So I do believe that it's going to get through just for the sheer fact that they want the money. How can anything be overbought if people and institutions continue to buy a token or stock? How can anything be overbought? Well, okay. So when we're talking about RSI as the relative strength index, so when we're talking about this stuff, let me pull it up for you. When we're talking about RSI, it's a metric. So when we're talking about overbought versus oversold, it's talking about the momentum taking place in the market, right? Buy orders versus sell orders. So if you're starting to get RSI overbought, that means there's way too many buy orders per the sell orders in regards to, this is RSI 14. If you look here, that means in the last 14 candles. So the relative strength index is increasing as people continuously buy up. And then once you get over 70, you get into what you call overbought. I can scroll back over here maybe. Once you get over here, you get overbought. If I find a big one, you'll find a big green section. If I can find one, see how it turns green over here? Over here. These are your overbought areas, and that means typically it's time for a reversal. But when you get above 70, you're in what they call price discovery, and basically it no longer applies. Again, it's just an indicator, but that's how they determine overbought and oversold. It's based on the last 14 candles, the structure, all those things. It's a technical term. Not that something is necessarily, bought beyond how many there are of something or something like that. It's just a matter of buying and selling pressure, just a technical indicator. If that makes any kind of sense for you. It's hard to wait, so much going on, but at the same time, since we can't do much about it, it feels like nothing is happening. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's actually very difficult for me right now to make videos and live streams because it's hurry up and wait, because there's not a lot going on. So what can I do? I can look at the narratives that are going on in the market and try to bring some clarity to them. That's kind of the idea for me right now, is I'm kind of reading the market and reading how people are reacting to the market and trying to shine some clarity on it. Versus, oh, the structure bill is going to get passed on April 3rd because Patrick Witt said so. No, he joked and said he would like it to be done by his birthday. So he's going to say April 3rd because that's his birthday. And then it gets blown up and you have articles and stuff like that. And all this misinformation running around because people are trying to get clicks. So I try to clear up those narratives, I guess is the way I'm looking at it. If clarity passes, would that make all of our utility coins pump or to the moon? When Clarity Act passes, I believe that is going to be the go-ahead for institutions to hop in full force, hop in hot and heavy. But again, that still takes time. It's not going to moon immediately. And again, trying to predict when something's going to skyrocket and when something's going to drop is what gets people to lose money. Again, it's about dollar cost averaging in. My view, my opinion, is about dollar cost averaging in over time, because I believe in what these assets are going to be over the next 5 to 10 years, not what they're going to be this month, next month, or even at the end of this year. I'm here for the long view. That's the whole premise of it. That's why I dollar cost average in over time, because more people are going to lose money than make money if you're trying to time the tops and bottoms and you're hoping for a moon. You could, then if you're hoping for a moon or you're expecting a moon, then you put in way too much money and then the moon doesn't happen and you're over leveraged. Then you have to sell and take money out and you get stressed, and then crypto's a scam. And it's kind of how the cycle works with new investors. They're promised the moon and the stars, and they invest all their money in because yeah, it's going to go up, it's going to do this. And then they lose money and oh, this is a scam. When unfortunately it was just a bad foundation and a bad plan. Hawaii Rider, haven't seen you in a while, Hawaii Rider. I saw you actually in Zach Rector's stream one time and was reaching out to you and you didn't respond to me. We haven't had an alt season, so the cycle is not over. This is a correction. That's a big correction. I hope you're right, but I don't think that the cycle is necessarily over per se. I'm just trying to warn people that I don't think this correction is over. I think we're going to see it lower from here based on the geopolitical data and what's actually taking place in the overall economy and the overall stock market. RLUSD, USD1, JPM coin, and USDY represent 4 competing visions for on-chain institutional cash. Which model wins, and can they coexist? Well, I think they are all going to exist in some form or fashion. RLUSD is going to exist because that is literally the blue chip of regulation when it comes to stable coins. So RLUSD is not going anywhere. USD1, I could see going away. JPM coin, I think we're going to see a lot of bank coins, but they're going to be more for internal use. What purpose does a JPM coin serve for, being for Bitcoin or for RLU? It has no purpose other than with JPM. Now they can mint their own stable coins, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be for settling on the back end, because they're minting JPM coin on Canton. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be for them to, they can transfer their CC into JPM coin, or they can transfer, their whatever asset they bring into JPM coin, so they can settle it on the back end and make it programmable. So I think a lot of what you're going to see with these individual bank coins, a lot of banks are going to do it because they're programmable and it'll be easier to settle things on the back end. And then you're going to have stuff like USDY and USDC. Again, the only one I'm really worried about going away is USD1, but you're right. We don't need 4 different types of stable coins. There probably will be 3. There's probably going to be a yield-bearing stablecoin. There's probably going to be and again, there's going to be more than one, but there's going to be a couple clear winners. There's going to be a couple yield-producing stablecoins, a couple payment stablecoins, and then, which I think is what RLUSD is going to be, stuff like that. So they'll have the yield-producing, they'll have the payment kind, and then they'll have the back-end settlement kind. That's what I think. Long answer to that question. Sir Charles, in my opinion, all wins when Ripple play the Joker card. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. We could use a massive pump to get some vigor back into the crypto market and bring some. Could you imagine? Like, imagine this. Imagine this scenario. Again, just pure speculation and pure hopium. But imagine February 11th happens and they announce they're going to do a partnership with Ondo, and their data keeps increasing, right? Their payments data keeps increasing, and massive investment comes in, whatever. All the good news in the world comes in for Ripple. They get their we are now in order to bring in some seriously strong FOMO. And I think my stream's having issues, but hopefully you guys caught that. But I think we're going to have it like 100% increase on XRP from where it is now before we get FOMO. We're going to have to see like a $3 increase in a matter of 24, or like an increase to $3 in a matter of 24 hours before we see some FOMO. It's going to take a lot to get a real big push. With tokenized bank deposits, JPM coin, LSEG Dish settling on Canton, or stablecoins like RLUSD and USDT even relevant for institutional settlement? Well, not on the back end if they're operating with Canton, and that's why you're going to start seeing a lot of this. But again, they'll be able to integrate those with the XRPL as well. Remember, the Canton Network is for tokenized treasuries, tokenized stocks, and things like that later down the road. They're adding in a bunch of stuff. Right now, there's mainly like repo markets and tokenized treasuries. Whereas, and again, they were just the first chain that the DTCC selected. They are going to select other chains. Interoperability is going to be key. Privacy is going to be key. That's why there was such a big push for the XRPL to get their privacy done, so they can do things that Canton Network is doing. Honestly, I really think that's why. I think that's why DTCC went with Canton first, for the privacy. Built for institutions. They want the privacy. Do we have any update on the Clarity Act? They're having more banking discussions tomorrow. That's the only update there is on the Clarity Act. More discussions tomorrow on stablecoin yield and the skinny Fed master account. Apparently, those are the sticking terms for the big banks. Is they don't like the Fed master account idea, and they don't like. You guys can't hear me. You might need to reset yours. My audio should be good here. So for the Clarity Act, though, it should be just the banking meeting. We don't have any additional updates on any other votes or anything like that. There is always an alt season and a cycle, right? The cycle is not over. I didn't say that the cycle was over. I'm just thinking that only thing I was saying is I think based on all the information I'm looking at that Bitcoin's going to go to 55K. There could be another run after that, but I just think Bitcoin's going to go to 55K. I hope it pumps to all-time highs after that. That would be amazing, because that means I'm buying at the dip at $1 and I'm about to triple my money if it does run like that. You know what I mean? Now, again, not financial advice, but I'm hoping we get a massive push here in the near future. Would welcome lots of vigor right now. Yeah, we need some vigor and some, not only just, selfishly, not only for crypto, but selfishly for the YouTube channel as well. I mean, no one's looking up crypto right now. It's not just me. I mean, the entire crypto sector, essentially, of YouTube has taken a dive recently. It's terrible. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing right now. 46 minutes in. Keep the chat rolling, guys. Keep it going. Hopefully you all can still hear me. How many people are in the stream anyway? Turn it into our normal XRP hangout. Only 20 people in the stream today. I think a lot of you dipped out. Man, I think I'm having connection issues. We got up to 54 today at one point, but it is dying down fast today on the stream. That's unfortunate. Only 20 people in here right now. It's a smaller stream. Yes, they did, Sir Charles. We went over that a couple times, but yeah, Hyperliquid is plugged into Prime Brokerage. I'll just hang out with you guys for a little bit. You guys ask questions. It's just a Q&A right now. So we'll hang out and do questions and look at price and chat and do whatever we want, because I'm going to stay at least an hour. So yeah, it's there's 20 people in here right now. Please hit the like button. I appreciate it. We'll grow the stream. And again, it's kind of a nothing burger right now. The price is just chopping. There's no really new news. We do, again, I'm going to be streaming on pretty much all day on the 11th, covering the XRP day, the XRP Community Day. So I'll be streaming pretty much all day there. And then tomorrow I'll update on the Clarity Act. I missed your questions, Yeshua. I thought I answered them. Oh, I froze on you. I got you. So it froze, so I lost a bunch of streamers. Hopefully people hop back in when it froze. That sucks. I hate when the stream lags out like that. Let me find your questions. If the Clarity Act passes, would that make all our utility coins pump to the moon? Not immediately. Not immediately, but I do think we need the Clarity Act to be passed in order for institutions to really jump in. Again, I've said it a million times. I don't think they're going to really jump in until there's something codified in the law, because everything that's been done to this point can be changed with a new administration, right? I mean, so that's my concern there. So I don't think it means that it passes and then all of a sudden everything moons, but it passes, then institutions hop in. It'll accelerate from that point. And again, over the next 5 to 10 years, I think price is going to go up. I think we have very, very high numbers over the next 5 to 10 years. It's all going to come down to utility. That's why I focus heavily on the infrastructure tokens. That's why I focus on XRP, Canton, HBAR, Chainlink, and Ondo, right? Everything that's involved in tokenization of the financial future. Cordell Lewis, any thoughts on any of those? The only one I have ever heard of is Tau, Cordell. So I can't really give you any information on any of those because the only one I've ever heard of is Tau, and I really don't know anything about it. So that's it. Yeshua says, thank you. You're welcome. Any thoughts? No, I don't. I try to really, really focus on, my core infrastructure. I don't get into really speculative plays, too much. Now that there's been some establishment in the crypto space, I think a lot of the younger coins aren't really going to get the shake they need. There might be one or two that sneak through and actually has some success. But I mean, most of the stuff that's getting traction right now with actual use case and adoption and utility is stuff that's been around for over a decade. This isn't an easy thing to bridge into. It takes a lot of infrastructure and build out. But I'm not familiar with those assets. Otherwise, I would give you my opinion on them, but I can't give you an opinion on something I don't know nothing about. And the new channel, by the way, everyone, I have a new channel that's live now, but I haven't done anything on it. But I do have a new channel I'm going to be streaming on as well in my free time. You guys are welcome to join that. It's literally just going to be me hanging out, and you can make fun of me if you want, but it's going to be me hanging out playing World of Warcraft, just like I used to do in the good old days. Anyone's welcome to hang out. I'm going to stream it. It's called Dadcraft Live. I'll put it in the chat for you. So if you guys are ever bored and you see that that's online, you can come talk to me and come hang out with me. I'll just be playing a game. AI is not speculative. Research Tau. Well, okay. Let me tell you about something that is speculative against AI. I'm gonna suggest you take a look at someone called Meet Kevin. And look at what he has to say about AI, because there is some speculation in regards to AI. AI first came out, and I ordered a whiteboard. I can't wait. I ordered a whiteboard so I can sit here and draw for you guys and let you guys so I can actually bring a visual when I'm talking. It's supposed to get here today, so I'll have it tomorrow. But so that when AI first came on, its adoption and use was ramping up like this. Well, now when AI first came on, its adoption and use was ramping up like this. Well, now it's flattened out, right? So not everyone who wants it has it. People are getting their use they want out of it. So they're seeing a decline in the use and people purchasing AI function. Well, AI is propped solely up on debt, right? So if we want to look at debt, if we want to talk about AI and the AI bubble, I've done discussions on the AI bubble as well. Now, I understand you're referring to Tau using AI, but I'm reaching out here to show you maybe something a little different than maybe you're not expecting. So when we look at AI, the way it works, so you have public credit or private credit invests in AI, and then you got NVIDIA making chips. They sell the chips to Oracle. Oracle hires CoreWeave. They get a loan, and it just feeds the cycle, right? As far as NVIDIA goes, I'm just using this. So you got NVIDIA making chips. They sell the chips to Oracle. Oracle uses CoreWeave. They get the data centers, and then you get loans, and they just keep repeating the cycle. So as soon as those loans slow down, which in an area where we're at right now, where people are trying to get out of debt and get out of leverage, then that cycle slows down. Well, when that cycle slows down, everything drops. The AI drops, NVIDIA drops, Oracle drops, CoreWeave drops. Well, what if public credit drops? Well, and it's going to start with the private credit. So what's the private credit? Blue Owl. They're the ones that invest in Oracle, right? Let's look at Blue Owl over the last, I don't know what, year? Sure. Last year, Blue Owl, since January 23rd of last year, they were at $26. They're now at $12. They've lost over 50% of their valuation. What about CoreWeave? What's CoreWeave doing? CoreWeave, they were up at 186. They're down to 95. They've lost half their position. What about Oracle? Oracle was at 340. They're down to 150. They've lost over half of their position. Are you starting to see a pattern here? The only one that's survived so far is NVIDIA. And this is why I have my OBS is messing up again. But yeah, Dadcraft Live, I love it. I think it's funny. XRPL quietly becoming a full institutional financial stack. Exactly. They got the end-to-end financial stack. What on how high Canton can go price-wise? Okay, so for Canton, the way it works, and again, none of this is financial advice, but when we're trying to determine a price, it's hard to tell. So the way it works is every time a transaction is done on Canton, it requires the same transaction requires the same dollar amount, and they burn that amount in Canton coin. And as more utility comes online to the Canton network, more Canton are minted. And that minted Canton, it does have an infinite supply, but hear me out. And that minted Canton goes to the validators and the app developers and the supporters of the network, right? So any freshly minted Canton goes back to the validators. Who's all the validators? The giant banks building on Canton. Again, Canton was built for institutions, right? So, I mean, we can build on Canton if we want, but there's a process. So all these big banks are building on Canton. So as they do their transactions, Canton coins are burned, but as they fulfill, more are minted. So therefore, as utility ramps up, the supply is going to go down, and then they'll mint more to try and rebalance it back up. It will create pockets of volatility, but that's why Canton has been steadily increasing in price while the rest of the that's why it's been increasing in price while the rest of the market has been crashing. That's why when we look at crypto bubbles here, pull it up for you. When we look at crypto bubbles and you look at the last month, you got Hyperliquid and CC are the only two things that are green amidst a sea of red. Canton's up 22% while Bitcoin's down 22%. You know, Hyperliquid's up 30%. And again, they just had that partnership. Hyperliquid just had that partnership with Ripple Prime, and they shot up after that. So didn't do anything for XRP, but it shot up Hyperliquid, that's for sure. And again, Canton is now ranked 16. So they went from 23 to 16 in a matter of a month as far as market cap goes. Again, not financial advice, just one of my favorites right now. XRP and CC are definitely my two favorites by far. Let's get back in the chat, see what everyone's saying here. Will crypto ever get to the point where it won't get affected by every single thing that happens in the world? I don't think it's going to get to a point any more so than like at best like a reliable collateral material like a gold, a silver, or a dollar, a US dollar or something like that. It's going to take a while before it gets there, obviously. But I mean, the market and geopolitical stuff affects, treasuries, it affects, bond yields, it affects everything. It affects the value of the dollar. I mean, the value of gold and silver goes up and down too. So I mean, there's always going to be some pressure, Steven, on things that are going to affect it, but I think the volatility will slow down as adoption and utility increases. Yeah. I normally trade on Robinhood. I recently started using Kraken and hated it. Everything is more expensive to buy and cheaper when you sell. Besides, the fees are very steep. You do have to be careful with the fees. Robinhood will get you on the spread though. So you have to watch Robinhood on the spread. I actually did a transaction recently. I set up a buy order for XRP at $1.51. After the spread, I ended up getting it at $1.54. I was pissed. So I'm like, I'll just put in my buy orders through Caleb and Brown. It's 3.5%. I mean, it's basically the same thing, and I have institutional custody. Why not? Because even on Robinhood, I haven't messed with Kraken, to be honest with you, but yeah, fees will get you. It's important to look at when you're making your purchase, it's important to look at what the spread is, because they will get you. They will get you with that spread. All of them will. TIG, the innovation game is AI algorithms. Okay. AI algorithms, AI agents are definitely going to be big coming on in the future. I really just haven't. I've been so focused on infrastructure that I haven't really put as much look into AI other than the infrastructure behind AI. I was heavily invested in NVIDIA a few years back. I had to sell all of my NVIDIA during the divorce, but I never got back into it because but I made a great return on NVIDIA. It was lagging. Yeah, OBS gives me a signal when it's messing up. I don't know why. Crypto Roger, the Clarity Act cleared a Senate committee but stalled on bipartisan support. So the ag committee side of it is done through the Senate, but they need to do the bank side. So you got two different sides of the market structure bill. You have the ag side and you have the bank side. Well, the ag side got approved by their committee. Now we need the bank side to get approved by their committee. Once they get their side approved, then they put the package together and it goes to the Senate floor. And then it gets through the Senate and it goes to the House. And then the House reviews it, says, okay, whoop, and they send it to the president to sign. So we still got a ways to go on the Clarity Act, folks. We have to get it through the banking side right now, and that's what's stalling with the banking and the stablecoin and the yields and all that stuff. So that's why I'm saying I'm hoping it gets done before midterms. So we only have one portion of it through the Senate, and they have to get the other portion, and then they have to put it together, and it has to go back to the House. So yeah, we still got a little way to go on Clarity, unfortunately. Do you see Canton going to $5? Well, when I was watching the interview, and again, don't buy anything because I say it, but I was watching an interview with the CEO, actually all of us were here, with the CEO of Digital Asset, and he was talking about the DTCC and the treasuries and the repo that they're doing with the DTCC and with brokerage. And they said right now they're only doing about 5%. And that's just treasuries and repo. So if say they get, 15% and then they start adding other assets in and other assets in, yeah, it could easily. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's out of the question. I definitely think $1 to $2 is for sure in play. Again, not financial advice. But if they start getting more assets in there, and as this continues to ramp up and looking at who's building on it and who's behind it, then yeah, I certainly think so. I certainly think it can go higher. Just because of the repo, think about it. Repo alone is trillions of dollars a day. Just repo is taking place on Canton. And every time those things happen, every time those transactions happen, CC is burned. So that's just me. Canton says it has $6 trillion in on-chain assets and $350 billion in daily settlement. How much of that is just brokerage repo volume? Like all of it. But They literally just got the go ahead to start tokenizing in December, guys. And they already got 6 trillion in on-chain assets. Think about that. And that's only 5%. Right? So I mean, it's going to blow up. My opinion. Absolutely. I'll answer anyone's. To me, this channel's, I give you guys the news. We go over the charts and we go over that stuff. But to me, this channel is more about building a community of like-minded people who are here for the long view of crypto, right? I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to trade. I'll give you my opinion. It's certainly not financial advice. I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to trade. But I mean, sometimes you have to ask questions to other people here in the chat, or, you know, myself, or you guys talk in the chat, whatever. It's nice to have a group of like-minded people that you can bounce ideas off of, or when you're getting concerned, or maybe you are having a little bit of fearful, or you're about to over leverage yourself and you need someone to talk you back a second, you know, whatever the case may be. It's good to have a group of like-minded individuals going through a journey together. And that's kind of what this is. I'm trying to create a group of like-minded individuals who are here for crypto for the next 5 to 10 years, and we're all going to build it out together. Like, I truly can't wait till 10 years from now, and I can see how some of these early people who joined, some of my founding members, and see how things have turned out for them, how things have turned out for me along the way, you know? So yeah, I'm here for the long view, Cordell. Not just my investing strategies, the channel as well. So thank you for joining the channel. Make sure you hit the like button, share. Oh, I hit a light again. I'm gonna have to move this light. That's twice. I get too handsy. But I've been told I've been handsy before. No, that's a little weird. But but yeah. What else was I gonna say? Phew, I lost my train of thought. I got myself all distracted with my Bond voice. Let's see here. Good afternoon, several laps. Welcome back, race fan. Welcome. Can't wait to get your Lamborghini with the polar bear skin seats. You know, I don't think I can. Actually, I can show it. Let me pull it up here. I have a way I can show it. Let me see. I designed. You guys will like this. So this is my next goal with the channel. So when I finally get to the point where I get the channel to where it's actually making some income, I'll show you here what I plan on doing. Let me find it real quick. I think Raul's seen this. I think Raul's the only one who's seen it. Let me find this thing here. There it is. See if it'll show it. Pull this over here. There it goes. All right. That's what I want to do for a company car. That's the future of LongView Compute, hopefully. That is the goal. So hopefully I can get that to show up at the next Ripple Swell in New York this year. Hopefully we can get there. Back to the chat. Yes. The Mustang. That's right, the Mustang. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping to do in the future. Are we going to $1? I do think $1 is possible, Harry. This is what I drew up here. I think it's this one. This is what I drew up here for XRP in regards to Bitcoin. I think if XRP gets to, or excuse me, if Bitcoin gets to 55K, and again, none of this is financial advice, but if I get to 55K, if Bitcoin gets to 55K, I think XRP originally, when I did the technical analysis, I thought it was going to fall to 80 cents. But based on how much it pulled back, when it pulled back up to $1.56, I adjusted. It's going to work out. And my thing is disconnecting again. My channel, I don't know what's going on with the internet. It keeps disconnecting. OBS is being stupid. But when we're looking at this again, XRP is at the center of everything. Utility is truly turning on with the XRP ledger. When we go back and we look and actually see what's happening on ledger, you can see that the payments velocity has certainly increased, up over 2 million for 3 days, and then it fell back to 1.8 million over the weekend. But we're already over 1.2 million today and climbing. So it's going to continue. I'm waiting to see this get up above 3 million and so on and so forth. The highest peak on the ledger was 5 million back when they were doing the CBDC pilots over in Europe. So I do believe that we're going to continue to see this increase, especially once we get clarity. For sure, once we get clarity. I mean, it has to. It just has to. It just has to. Let's see. Thank you, Sir Charles. I appreciate. It's just a fantasy right now. It's an AI creation, but I'm hoping to do it soon. When I get rich, I'm gonna hire a voice coach to talk like Jeff Goldblum. Okay. No Lambo for me. The cost of ownership is outrageous, even with XRP at 100. Yeah, the insurance on a Lambo is going to be ridiculous. I was looking up the insurance on that Mustang, and it was ridiculous, tell you the truth. But more money, more problems. Evernorth is about to list on NASDAQ as the MicroStrategy of XRP with 473 million tokens, but they're sitting on about 380 million in unrealized losses. Yeah. Do you think they care? Again, I think Evernorth is just a parking spot. I think it's just a parking spot for XRP. And the only reason they're sitting on that amount of unrealized losses is because of how much XRP they hold. And they bought it from Chris Larson. So remember when everyone was saying Chris Larson sold his XRP? He sold it to Evernorth so they could create this DAT strategy thing. But being rich isn't fun if no one knows you have it. Well, I mean, speaking from someone who's had a little bit of money and who doesn't show his money, being rich is fun, especially when no one knows you have it. Because I can tell you right now that there are a lot of people who are fake rich out there who are walking around with fancy cars and watches and all that stuff, and they are broke. I worked for a freight brokerage, to give you an example, and a couple guys used to make fun of me because I have a 2016 Jeep Cherokee. I worked there for 10 years, okay? So I worked there for 10 years, and I was the top producer for a long time. Top 3 always. As far as producer, I made this company millions, right? I was making over 6 figures. I had a great job. And I was driving around a 2016 Jeep Cherokee 4-cylinder banger with, minimum features and everything, but it was paid off. I had no bills. And these guys, they're driving around in $40, $50, $60, $70,000 cars that they're getting every 2 to 3 years. You need to get yourself a car. You need to get yourself a car. I'm like, how much have you spent on those 3 cars? Like, I mean, they lost thousands of dollars just keep trading stuff in and with interest rates and everything else. And I just bought myself a $20,000 car. I still drive it. I bought it outright, never had to pay any interest on it, nothing. Never had to pay crazy high insurance premiums because I bought it outright. Yeah, it was a $20,000 car. It's not great, but it also meant that I don't have to work as hard either. Or I could put more money away and invest. That's just me, though. I don't know anything about insurance in them cars. I can do some cool stuff on that Mustang. I bet you can. I'll have to get your opinion on it later on down the road, Raul. When I get rich, I'm traveling the world, maybe spending each summer in a different country or 3. I'm with you. I want to travel, Quelly. I want to see everything. I want to see. This world is so big. I've only been out of the country one time. I want to see more. That I want to travel. That's true. I'd rather not show it. Exactly. Mo money, mo problems. The less people know you have it, the less problems there is. And I mean, people puff their chest out fake rich all the time. From my experience, most people stay broke trying to look like they have money. Exactly, Sir Charles. Exactly. Keeping up with the Joneses is what they call it. You guys should watch that movie if you haven't. There's a movie called The Joneses. You should check it out. It's really good. Zero interest in anyone ever knowing I'm wealthy. There you go. Good for you. Harry says, I know this sounds stupid. No stupid questions. But why are all selling our XRP to buy it back 20% less? Why are we all selling? Well, not everyone's necessarily selling their XRP. What you can do, though, what some people elect to do, if you bought XRP, say for me, I'll just use me as an easy example, okay? My average buy rate on XRP is $1.76, okay? So if I sell my XRP, let's just say XRP goes to $1, okay? So if I sell my XRP at $1, then I log a realized loss for taxes, okay? And immediately rebuy back in at $1. So now my capital gains timer starts over again. Because remember, your first year is 39%, your second year is 29%, and after the third year. So second and third year are 29%. And then after the third year, it goes to 19%. So if I want to lock in some losses and help me with my taxes this year, I can do that. It doesn't matter as long as I don't plan on cashing out my XRP in the next 3 years, if that makes any kind of sense. So I can save on my taxes this year by realizing that loss. So that's why some people will buy out or sell out and then buy right back in. They want to take the loss. They specifically want to eat the loss to save on their taxes. Cars do cost a fortune nowadays, and the older cars cost a fortune in repairs too. Nothing is cheap anymore these days, Quelly. Nothing is cheap. When my head hits the pillow, I want a peaceful night. You and me both. Exactly. Build a strong foundation, you can sleep easy every night. Been building your record for the past 20 years. Oh my goodness. Don't you want to be so rich you can get an elephant and do... I'll see myself out. Oh gosh, what is that from? I know that's got to be from something. I see music tones. The first thing I think of is the I Want to Be a Billionaire song from Bruno Mars. Dennis Duke says, I want to pay off my house and help others give back. What I want to do, well, it depends on how much money I end up making. I have two goals. I have two goals for my life, and they both involve not working past 50. But my main one, option A, option B, is I would love to get a small beach house and just live on the beach. I would gladly be a beach bum and enjoy my life by the ocean for the rest of my days. That's my ultimate, number one exit strategy. Number two, though, if I have the money to do it, another thing I want to do is I want to get a piece of property, a nice piece of land, kind of out in the middle of nowhere a little bit, slightly off grid, maybe an hour away from civilization, if you will. But I want to put a piece of land out there that I can build multiple homes on. So even just, cheaper barn dominiums or whatever, because I'm so worried about the future with the way our economy is going, with the way the world's going, with the way the governments are going. Like, things are only going to get more expensive, and they're only going to get harder, and technology is only going to move faster. So the best thing I can leave for my kids is a home. So what I'm hoping to do is get a piece of land, and I can build my home on it, and then I can start building individual plots or whatever for the kids and for my family. So that no matter what, everyone always has a place to live that's paid for. That's my goal. That is my gift to my kids, is to give them a free place to live, and they can go from there. That would be interesting, doing coke with an elephant. I don't know about that. I love the beach. The beach is I love the smell of it. I love the sound of it. I love everything about the beach. The beach is my all-time favorite place to be. But all right, guys, we're over an hour. We're at an hour and 16 minutes. This is kind of a weak stream today. We did get up as high as 54, but it died off when the stream started lagging, unfortunately. But I will be back tomorrow at noon. I'll have some shorts coming for you guys soon. I'll try to keep everything updated. Again, we'll follow what's exactly going on with the Clarity Act tomorrow as we get more information when it comes out. Real quickly, before I get off here, I'll give you guys an update on the price, though, before we get out of here. And let me see. Price. There we go. Boom. So currently, that's Oracle. We want Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, look at that. It's fighting with 70,000, just like we talked about. If it doesn't get over 70,000, it's going to fall like hardcore. That's on the 1-day chart. Let's see what it's doing on the 15-minute. That's what I was using to diagnose it earlier. Let's go all the way over, see what it's doing. So yeah, it's still up here chopping. It's a choppy day. Sitting at 70,000, sitting just under the line we were tracing before that was going to bounce off of, and it did. And yeah, 144 for XRP. So again, I'm still expecting a pullback. We will see how it goes. But other than that, that's all I got for you today, folks. I will see you tomorrow. Later.